for watching Web3. I'm Nicole, and today I'm so glad to have with me Janice and John McAfee. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this program does go on YouTube, but in addition, it's also aired on a low-frequency television station in Phoenix, where I think a lot of people might not be very familiar with either of you or your story. So if you want to briefly introduce yourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we're the McAfees. I'm John McAfee, the creator of McAfee Antivirus and McAfee Security. And Janice, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Janice. I'm John's wife.
But Janice, you're so much more than John's wife.
Well, it just seemed a very quick way to introduce myself.
Okay, all right. Well, we were hoping to do an episode of Crypto Loveline today, but our friend Rice wasn't able to be here because we had to change it on short notice. So come up with a few questions for you, and I'd like to allow viewers to get to know Janice a whole lot better, and then John also, since you're here, and I'm so glad that you are, but wasn't expecting you. So because great women don't belong behind great men, they belong next to them. And Janice very much has been next to John for years now. Is that right?
Yes, this is very true.
Okay, great. So Janice, I know that prior to getting married to John, you were working as a sex worker. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And in that position, I'm sure that you spent lots of time really just listening to men talk about various things that had to do with their lives, because sex work has a lot more to do with almost like being a therapist.
This is definitely true.
Yeah, which is why I would still love to have you on an episode of Crypto Loveline sometime when we get it just a little bit better arranged.
Of course. Yes, of course. I'd love to.
So I was watching an episode of 2020 that the two of you did together a few years ago, when you said that you felt as though John had rescued you from years in a sex trafficking.
Okay, let me.
That's a bad word.
Yeah, I wouldn't say rescued. That's a horrible way to say it, and maybe that's the best way that I could describe it at the time, but I would definitely not say that. I would say that he gave me an opportunity to separate myself where I didn't have to go work at a McDonald's or, just try to figure out what to do given the record that I had. It's not very easy to make the transition in your life from being in that lifestyle to, trying to go legit or, get a square job, if you will. And so, I think he definitely allowed that opportunity, among other things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with using the word rescue, because by itself, it's just a word, right? And it's, just because someone rescues you doesn't mean that you don't rescue them in other very different ways. So I don't think that there's anything weak about that word inherently, but I appreciate the clarification.
Well, that is true. And
That is
in
true.
fact, we did rescue each other in many ways.
Yes.
Right. So what I really wanted to kind of take this opportunity to talk about is that because some people who are anti-crypto, or even some who are within crypto, say that the anonymity that brings with some privacy-focused coins can also lead or allow sex traffickers to more easily launder money and move about their victims. And because I know that you two have that background, Janice being a part of it and John helping Janice escape from it, I really wanted to take this opportunity to talk about how you see privacy coins going in the future, and if there is that danger of supporting sex trafficking and other violent anti-human crimes.
Yes, please.
Yes, of course, it's going to support sex trafficking, child slavery, drugs, money laundering, but so does every single technological advance in human history. The telephone allowed the mob to coordinate criminal activities nationwide. The automobile allowed for the getaway car. If thieves, criminals could buy the latest and most powerful car, you could rob banks, and it didn't matter if the police came. You just outran them. I mean, please. Every single technology. Our job as technologists is not to police the world. I mean, if we have to consider those things in the creation of our our dreams, then our world will be a tragic place and our technology will be crippled and useless. So, yes, of course, it's going to use so what? So what? They're using the dollar now. And every advance in technology, of course, advances criminals, but it also advances the ordinary law abiding citizens. So, do you see? We still have parity. You're not ever going to get rid of criminal activity. Not until you get rid of human greed and vice and anger, jealousy. If you get rid of those things, of course, then we can talk. But until then, it's nonsense to talk about new technologies being used by criminals. Of course they will. That's why we pay our law enforcement agencies. It's not my job to help them. It's not my job to keep tabs on every single customer just because some of them might be criminals. No, that goes against the Constitution.
Well said. I agree.
So, does either of you have any ideas for what we can do to get rid of greed and let's see, what else did you say? Let's see, you said
Jealousy,
jealousy,
anger,
greed.
you name it, lust. I mean, good Lord, we are a mixed bag.
Yeah, any idea what we can do to get rid of those things so that we don't have to worry about criminal activity that hurts human beings?
I did not choose a profession as a law enforcement detective. Had I done so, then yes, it would be my job. All right. But I did not choose that. I chose a different field. And I do not feel obligated to cripple my field because of their greed. Law enforcement greed for more information about everybody. Therefore, if we know about everybody, then we know who the good people are and who the bad people are. Just like Santa Claus coming down the chimney. Only it's not a ho-ho person that greets you in the morning. It's someone black suited with handcuffs and a billy club. There's a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think the idea of a world where there is no such thing as anonymous transactions scares me certainly to death, because I think that really a lot of the times the criminals are the people who try and enforce and press upon the rules on the populations of people, especially when those populations of people are saying we don't want these rules.
I didn't understand the question. Why don't you answer?
I'm sorry.
Why don't you answer?
I think so. I think what you're saying is that the criminals, they try to exploit the fact that there are these rules in place, even though they're not following the rules, but they try to
Yes.
uphold the citizens to those rules. That's what you're
Yes,
saying.
absolutely. That is the problem. We're expected to adhere, and law-abiding citizens do, but criminals don't. Listen, if you're going to rob a bank or murder somebody, do you think you care that there's a $5,000 fine for carrying an illegal pistol? Of course not. They just don't care.
Right, they're never going to pay that $5,000 fine, even if they're fined.
Right.
Yes, that's true.
So, I mean, what I was really saying is, I think it's important for people to understand, at least from your perspective and from the perspective of many people who are involved with cryptocurrency, that the real criminals that we're talking about a lot of the time aren't the people who are selling drugs up on the streets or on the dark web. They're the people who are making the laws saying that it's illegal to sell or use drugs, or that it's illegal to participate in sex work. Those are laws that don't do anything to protect people, but in fact hurt humanity.
Yes, they actually do more harm than they will ever do any good. And you're very correct. The very same people that come out the hardest against prostitution, against drugs, they are usually the ones that dabble in it the most. That have a revolving door of prostitutes, or blow, and the things. It's just crazy. And they're always the ones that try to fight the hardest to keep adults from doing what adults will do. If they're two consenting adults, I don't think it's anyone else's business what those adults are doing. If they agree on, if there's an agreement made, I don't think that there's a problem with that. And I think, I don't know. What do you think, Lev?
No, the deeper problem is our surveillance state, which is where we are right now, gives ultimate power to the people who have the information about us, and to them, there's no boundary between, okay, how much information do we need? Right? Do we need to go past his bank account? Do we need to go past his long-term liaison, his business partners, or Do we need to get all the way into what they do in bed and with whom and how often and how many? And once you get into that realm, then everything in that realm, including prostitution and you name it, is now under surveillance and suspect. This is the problem. These are private things. What you do in the privacy of your home, or even a hotel room, which in many states is the equivalent of your home. What you do there is nobody's business, but yours and the man or woman and the sheep or whatever. I mean, it's nobody else's. Maybe the owner of the sheep. I have no clue. We can talk about that. That might be an issue.
Okay, so within blockchain, there is sort of a segment or a group of people that's sort of separated from, a majority. And that group is saying that you can have privacy without having anonymity. And that this whole idea of anonymity is based on these anarchic principles, and anarchy doesn't scale. That's their primary, so like that is one of their main points for arguing that their technology that they are building can and will scale, while that Bitcoin BTC, Bitcoin Bcash, and Ethereum, EOS, etc., will not scale. What do you think about that? What should viewers look at if they're interested in that debate?
In that debate, if they're interested in that.
The privacy versus the anonymity.
Yes.
Okay, well, I ask you, in a world where once you are located and identified, and if you have a cell phone or a TV with that's newer than 4 years old, or an Alexa or a computer, then suddenly your ability to be private disappears, right?
Yeah.
Only with anonymity in this world are you allowed to have privacy. So without anonymity in this world in which we find ourselves, then privacy will never be possible, and there will be no.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, actually. If you can't own your cell phone anonymously and your cell phone tracks your every move and everything that you say, then there is no privacy. Yeah, that's a really
That's very true. She's saying if you're anonymity and you have your phone, you're anonymous on that, but then your phone tracks your every movement.
No,
and
you're not
there's no
anonymous.
privacy.
Please, if you think you're anonymous on your phone, people, wrong. If you use email on your phone, do you make phone calls to friends and co-workers on your phone? Do you log into WhatsApp, to Twitter, to Facebook? No, you are not anonymous. In your phone is a unique identifier, which is unique only to your phone. It's called the MAC address. This identifies you because the phone, first of all, they go, what's this person talking about? Let's say they're monitoring your communications, which they do. Everybody's communications is monitored, not by people. Please, we don't have enough people to monitor the people. But no, by computers, by AI that look for keywords like bomb, guns, terrorist, Trump, who knows? And that will get flagged up to a different level in the AI that does even further analysis. And if it looks suspicious, fine, it pops out on a human's desk, saying, John McAfee just said something that might be threatening to Donald Trump. That's how it works. And then my phone goes, hi, he's here at this exact location within 10 feet. I can't get closer these days, but within 10 feet, he's right here. No, please God, people. Phones are not private. They are the unique creation of a government so clever that it wanted to have spy devices that people carried with them everywhere, but did not want to pay for them. So what did they come up with? The smartphone. Who pays for that spy device? You do. What does it do? You think when you turn it off, you are guaranteed that it's off? But please, wake up, world. I mean, if anybody knows this or would know this, it would be me. I am the founder, the creator of the entire science of computer security. I'm 74. Prove me wrong. I mean, there are others within a year or two who claim to have a piece here or a piece there that preceded my inventions and my creations. But trust me, I was there. And so if I tell you now that your phone's true purpose is to monitor your every action, movement, expression, and word, and soon with coming AI, to evaluate your expressions, to see what you're actually thinking. This is what you're carrying in your hands. And if you think this is honest, these people, it is not.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that that's a very dangerous and very real fear that people have. I think a lot of the people who are watching this program are doing so on low frequency televisions. In fact, that's the only way that you could watch this unless you were watching it on YouTube. And that means that those people are exposed to less high technology and are probably doing a little bit better in terms of keeping their lives private.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I would imagine so.
So what about those of us who are addicted to technology? What do you think that we can do to help protect ourselves moving forward? Just not accept new products. Like I refuse to get an Alexa in my house or any kind of home assistant. That just seems, you can even ask them, Alexa, are you spying on me? And they tell you like, I only report when you say the key words. Like, but what are those key words, you know?
Right. Yeah, no. I mean, I guess that's some of the things that you can do. Definitely, I would never get one of those doorbell camera things. Never get one of those. I would just stay away from making everything smart. Like I don't want a smart car.
Listen, look at what's the biggest spy device. Your television set.
Yeah.
Samsung 2.5 years ago finally said, listen, if you want to have a private conversation, do not have it in front of our TV set.
Yeah,
because
they did say that.
we're listening to everything. Okay, so okay, cool. Thank you at least for telling us.
Well, but nobody's going to get rid of their TV though.
That's right. No one's going to get rid of the TV. So therefore, accept the fact that while you're watching it, it's watching you. Alexa, what idiot puts Alexa in a house? I mean, my mind boggles. I mean, what shocked me more than anything in the past 10 years was that Amazon sold more than 5 Alexas. How did that fucking happen?
Yeah, it's not only that people are putting the Alexas in their house, it's that they're actually paying for the hardware and then even paying a monthly subscription in some cases. So you're actually paying somebody else to collect your data and then sell your data and then not even profit back from it yourself. So that other companies and other institutions can sell your private data and sell stuff back to you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's something that like blockchain and cryptocurrency are aiming to at least remediate in some ways. Things like Brave browser, you know, it doesn't say that you'll never be exposed to ads, but at least you'll be rewarded for the ads that you do interact with.
You bet. You bet. I'm going to leave you with Janice now,
Okay.
who was your original intent, and I will see you. All right.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So what are some of the things, I know that, you know, you've definitely been exposed to a lot of cryptocurrency and blockchain talk being around, John, but I know that personally I'm attracted to completely different projects and concepts within blockchain than my boyfriend. So I'm wondering, you know, what appeals to you?
I am very interested in Docademic. It's a healthcare coin. They also have the psychiatric, well, the sort of the suicide hotline kind of therapist side of it as well, called the cool Emotions. And it's something where you get the tokens and you can use it to dial into a doctor. Let's say you broke your arm, you can just show it to them and they can tell you, oh, go to the doctor or just do this and it'll take care of it. And so I think that's really cool because that will help a lot of people who don't have access to healthcare get the healthcare that they need, because a lot of times you don't need to go into the doctor's office. You just need to know, hey, what should I do about this rash? Or, what should I do about this spot that I saw on my leg, or something simple like that. Nothing is, it's not always an emergency. And then sometimes you just need someone to talk to. And I love the idea that someone comes on and you can have a live face-to-face conversation with a complete stranger. I think that element adds a lot of help to people, because it's hard to talk to someone that about those deep secrets that you don't want to share with anyone. And so I think it's a wonderful idea for all of those undeveloped countries who don't have the access to healthcare. As well as there's a few other projects that I'm interested in. They're in their early development, so I don't really want to talk about them very much, but most of them are geared towards, helping those underdeveloped countries that don't have access to banking systems, clean water, things of that nature.
Yeah, I think that talking about the really things that don't have anything to do with money, the blockchain for social good projects is really important, and there's a lot of them that aren't even tokenized. And in terms of making blockchain appeal to women specifically, I think that is a really important thing, is focusing on the technological advances, blockchain, not Bitcoin, blockchain, not cryptocurrency.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that.
And that's definitely one of the major things that made me sort of even open my mind to the possibility of cryptocurrency, was that I started to understand the real good that could come from advantages that had to do with blockchain.
Okay, wonderful.
And
So how long have you been in this space?
About 4 years.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't say that it was 100% motivated from, the goodness of my heart, because certainly there was some, like, oh, you mean that this could be good for humanity, and that if I buy it now, I could have more money?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes, no, please don't mistake me in thinking that, of course, I don't want to make money, because that's not the truth at all. We all want to make money. That's what we're all here to do as well. But I think that we can also do good in this space as well. And it's just wide open. It's wide open to tap into those undeveloped countries or underdeveloped countries who are starving for the simple necessities that we take advantage of, and at the same time make a lot of money. We can do that. I mean, these things will have to be separate, of course, but of course,
Yeah, we can do both.
I think we can.
Yeah,
I think at least that's what we want to try. We aspire to, I guess.
Certainly. And additionally, with the freedom of your money, gaining enough money so that you can be completely financially free, that can also free your mind to think about things and to worry about things other than money, so that you can do real social good in the world.
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah. So I know you and John have been married for how long now?
It will be, let's see here, our anniversary is actually on the 14th. So we've been together 7 years. We've been married for 6 of them.
6 years, and it has definitely been a rocky 6 years. Is that right? I mean, you've moved several times. You've fled from the government.
Yeah, it's been interesting, to say the least.
Well,
it's been a good time.
Yeah, well, you look great, and I see that you're not surrounded by tinfoil this time. Like, I think in the last interview that I saw you in was with Amina, you and John, and it looked like you were in a tinfoil, I don't remember what he called it, but it was like a tinfoil bunker room.
It's our communication room. It was a Faraday cage, so we just kind of keeping our location secure and private from the outside world.
Yeah. Absolutely. But wherever you are able to go outside without fear?
Oh, yes, of course. It's beautiful. It's beautiful where we are. And we're having a good time. We're getting lots of rest, just enjoying each other, doing a lot of Netflix and chilling. Mm-hmm. It's nice. It's nice.
Well, that's great. I'm glad that things are a little better or a little more stable for you now than a few months ago. I know a lot of people were really worried about the two of you when the communication was going off and on.
Yes, thank you. Well, I appreciate everyone's support. It was touch and go for a while. It was pretty scary, at some points, but we got through it. One day maybe get put in a movie or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I have seen that recently. That looks like Hollywood's making a movie about John, right? Have you seen this?
Yeah,
Like,
it's gonna be called King of the Jungle. It's gonna
mhm.
have Michael Keaton and Zac Efron in it, and it's based off of an article that was written about John about 3 weeks of his life. So it should be funny. I'm looking forward to it. Johnny Depp originally was supposed to be in it, but then they changed to Michael Keaton.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to it too, and it's in production right now.
I believe it is. They said it's due to come out mid next year, so we'll see.
Okay, is there going to be someone who plays you in the movie?
I don't think so. It's just going to be focusing on a brief time with John and Belize, and
Mhm.
so, but it'll be interesting to see how they tell the story. I'm excited about
Okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want to know of all of the crazy things in John's life, what warrants a movie.
it. Well, there's lots of crazy stuff in this man's life. You'd be surprised, but yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. It's been
No,
great.
thank you so much for being here. I have one more question for you, if that's okay. Okay, so so I really wanted you to be on because I do this segment called Crypto Love Line where like some of the crypto guys call in and tell me what's going on with them. Since we couldn't do that today, I'd still like to know, what would Janice McAfee's advice be to anyone out there who's involved in crypto and seems like that's a hindrance for them getting into a relationship with someone?
I would just say be open. Be open to whatever, to whatever life brings your way, because you never know how each experience is going to shape or change, the trajectory of your life for better or for worse. And so that's what I would say. Just be open, be open-minded, and lead with love. Lead with love.
Lead with love. I think that is really great advice. And Janice, if somebody they want to follow you on social media, can you share what your handle is?
I'm just on Twitter, and my handle is at the Mrs. McAfee, THEE, the Mrs. McAfee.
Okay, I'll put that on the bottom of the screen so that anybody watching can see. Thank you so much for being here, Janice. This was wonderful, and
Thank
I hope that
you.
we can schedule an actual episode of Crypto Love Line sometime soon.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Nicole. I had a great time. It was great talking to you. Thank
Wow,
you.
that was great. I'm so glad that both John and Janice took the time to talk with me today. And I really was surprised that John was there. I was only expecting Janice. Additionally, though I have so many more questions that I'd like to ask John, I'm really grateful that he excused himself and allowed me some time to talk with just Janice, as it was my intent to show what an important role she plays in this whole cryptocurrency thing, even though it's behind the scenes. So thank you so much to both John and Janice. I hope that I'll get an opportunity to talk with each of you again. And for viewers, I think it's really important that you understand that there are disagreements within the blockchain space. Although some people say that privacy is the intention of cryptocurrency, but not anonymity, there are others like John who insist that there is no such thing as anonymity without privacy. I can see both sides of the argument, and I hope that I don't impact what other people decide. But I want to present all of the information in the most complete way that I can, and I hope that you'll all take the time to look into it yourself. Thank you again so much for watching Web3 TV on Phoenix Crypto TV 44.6. Stay tuned. I'm going to do a tutorial on how to use Lolly to get Bitcoin back for purchases that you already make online right after this. Bye!